Hey everyone, it's Sean with Pew Pew Tactical. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the Team Tactics course at Gunsite, sponsored by Mossberg. Check it out.
Gunsite has become a mecca for me over the years, a place I go for growth in my shooting skills. Passing under the raven-topped gateway is symbolic in so many ways of going back to school. Every time I go to Gunsite, I know I'm going to learn something valuable. And so, once again, I arrived with a small group of writers, handpicked by the folks at Mossberg. Though this event was slated to be something much different. My previous lessons at Gunsite had all been very personal. The instructors would help me establish a baseline of my performance, they would teach me new things, and then show how much I'd learned. This time, I was paired up with another writer to complete the Team Tactics course. With a couple of decades in law enforcement, I've worked some team tactics before. I'd even served on the local SWAT team, but this was much different. The course is designed to teach civilians how to work through problems that might require gunplay to resolve. Accordingly, responsibilities and the rules of engagement are different. Some painful lessons lay ahead, and I could only guess what they might be.
Give me one more shot.
Cover!
Covering! There you go. That's it.
Gunsite is outstanding for many reasons, though chief among them are their teaching method and dedication to safety. The pedigreed instructors can take a group of students with a broad range of skill levels, get them all at a baseline, then proceed through a curriculum safely. They use the proven crawl, walk, run method so common to adult learning. Ideas are introduced, goals set, and students are encouraged to try new things. You never really feel overwhelmed, but occasionally get pushed out of your comfort zone. The thing is, this is where learning truly happens. So it was with our small group of writers. The biggest tool added to the curriculum was communication. This simple task provided so many challenges and lessons throughout the course. Many of us were sound shooters, but communicating before, during, or after gunplay was an added wrinkle some had not confronted before. We started simple, using Mossberg MC2Cs with Holosun optics, shooting drills with our partner, and calling out when we needed cover for a reload. It's funny how difficult this can be, but when you fired thousands and thousands of rounds without saying a word, adding something new, even something you do every day, can be a challenge. The instructors also issued dummy rounds and had us randomly insert them into our magazines. We ran through multiple drills and now had the added challenge of a sudden stoppage we had to confront. Once again, we were encouraged to communicate these problems with our partners while resolving them. By the end of the first day, we had completed some drills involving shooting and moving while communicating. We even went to a shoot house and used blue guns to practice the basic movements of clearing a structure. On the second day, facing targets were added. It's funny how the pressure increases when you include a time component. But as noted earlier, somewhere between boredom and sheer panic is where we truly learn lessons. The targets would turn to face us, and we'd have to draw and complete the drills before they turned again. Communication was strained as students reverted to previous habits while they dealt with the layered problems. Eventually, all the partners worked through this and improved, speaking to each other about what they were confronting. Gunsite always emphasizes responsible shooting, that you are accountable for every round that leaves your weapon. They highly encourage accuracy, but also reinforce the times to speed up, like when you're nice and close, and the times to slow down, like longer distance shots. While many lessons were learned on the range the second morning, we later moved back to the shoot house at the end of the day to put these into practice. Using airsoft pistols, we applied our skills and our growing level of communication. It was impressive to see how things were coming together. The third day was a bit of a crucible, culmination of all the lessons we'd learned, tested by role players who would dole out some pain to reinforce everything. That's right, it was time for simunitions. If you aren't familiar, Sims use real guns converted to fire ammo that marks you with paint. They hurt when they hit you, but they don't do any significant damage. It's a valuable tool. We went through a safety briefing, then donned protective gear for our necks and crotches. It might have been my imagination, but mine seemed to smell like sweat and fear. I won't go into the specifics of each scenario in case you ultimately get the chance to attend this course, but I'll cover some of the lessons learned. In the first situation, I realized I needed to convert my mindset. I retired from law enforcement in 2021, but under pressure, that guy came launching back out like a bee-stung bear. My rules of engagement and level of responsibility have greatly altered, but my mindset wasn't updated to reflect this. Communication with my partner was good, and we each handled our share of responsibilities, but the outcome was not optimal. In the second scenario, my partner and I performed admirably. We were confronted at a gas station by a homeless person, and things escalated quickly. My partner and I communicated well, covered our areas of responsibility, and delivered lethal force with accuracy. One of our instructors noted that a moving vehicle makes a heck of a weapon, but a stopped vehicle is a great coffin. Finally, in the last scenario, my partner and I had moved through a building to confront a threat. The movement went well, the communication was greatly improved since the first day, but how I handled the final bad guy could have gone much better. I was confronted with a training scar from the days of old when cops and EMTs were given unwinnable scenarios to learn lessons. At the end of the course, I reflected on everything I had learned, but it was impressive to see the evolution everyone went through. In just a few days, we progressed from individual shooters to small teams working dynamic problems with coordinated movements, all while communicating. The instructors, role players, and staff at Gunsite did an amazing job. The unsung hero of the whole event was easily the Mossberg MC2C. Everyone in the course used these for our live fire drills, and they ran extremely well over the course of roughly 2,000 rounds. Some eventually needed lubrication, but mine didn't. I'd like to thank Mossberg for inviting us out and Gunsite for the excellent instruction. If you get a chance, check out the MC2C because it's inexpensive and a reliable concealed carry option. Also, make plans to attend a course at Gunsite. The rewards are real-world knowledge you may apply to your safety sooner than you'd expect.
You better use that. Cover front! Cover!